Anybody here, so I presume there's no privilege of the floor. Minutes, all right, so I've kind of lost the bubble. I think I've read 3 of them. I may have read 4 of them, I'm not sure.
Okay,
It may have been 4 at this time. Does anybody recall?
I think I don't remember seeing the ones for 111.
no, she
She
was,
just sent,
I don't think
yeah.
she did not get until, I think this afternoon, the 1-4. And I don't think she got the 111s out.
Okay,
So if you want to just postpone those, it would be the first 3 that I know you have all
Yep.
seen and
Yeah,
given her
definitely.
feedback.
All right, so 10, 19, 11, 16, and 12, 21, all of 2023.
Correct. 23 is finished. And I just want to commend both Steve and Sharon. They have found artificial intelligence
Yeah.
program that is writing the minutes for them based on the
Mhm.
audio tape.
Mhm.
And then they go in and make minor corrections, but the program seems to be working really well. So we should not have any problem keeping up with minutes now,
okay.
so.
Yeah, I just had a couple questions on that. Yeah, it's important that they review.
Yeah, they do.
There's
They-
some of the obvious
Yeah.
things that I think.
Yeah.
We've caught, and
Yeah.
and that's just a matter of learning.
Yeah.
To deal with a new approach. I've gone back and forth on the summary. Is
Yeah.
that automatically
It
generated?
automatically is generated.
Because it
Can
doesn't-
delete it
Oh, okay.
if you want.
When you
us
think
to.
about it, it doesn't provide any added value. Does it really?
And sometimes it's a bit repetitive in a weird way, like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
circles back on itself.
Yeah. Yeah,
If you'd like, we'll eliminate it. It's totally up to you. They're your minutes.
I mean,
I thought it was kind of like a stream of consciousness, the
yeah.
summary.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm fine with doing away with the summary and just
Okay.
going right into I think the timestamp. And the short description of what was discussed.
Yeah, that's generated automatically.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
I-
like the timestamp.
yeah, I think because that way anybody can go back and makes it a little easier to figure out where in the tape to look,
Yep.
but. Otherwise, I'm fine with them. Okay, so yeah, let's continue to use it and
All right, so you're gonna approve 10, 19, 11,
16 and 12, 21 as amended by the board. Do I have a second?
Second.
All righty, all in favor?
All right.
Aye, all right. And we'll take a look at the 4th and the 11th. The next meeting. All
Very
right,
good.
anything exciting happening in departments?
Well, the trash truck is back up. I told you that. We are just dealing, the weekends have been busy. Water and sewer over the long weekend was up over 250,000 gallons.
Wow.
Sewer treated. And about 200,000 in water produced, so they're relatively close. So it was a big holiday weekend. Trash went well. We were open Monday
Mhm.
and
You know,
Tuesday.
I think sticking the way we are is fine, but you know, if we wanted to cut back a day, it seems to me that instead of when it's a 3-day weekend, instead of doing it, we've been doing Sunday and Monday, and then Tuesday's the regular day.
No, we've been closed Sunday and we've been open Monday, Tuesday.
No, Sunday's been open.
Shouldn't have been.
It
Maybe
was
she
open,
did.
it was open
Maybe she
this,
did.
over the long
I
weekend.
think
It was
over the
open
long,
Sunday.
okay, yes.
Because
So
I think.
Sunday, Monday,
I-
Tuesday.
So my suggestion would be if it's a long weekend, I think Sunday and Monday are pretty good. Tuesday becomes,
Well, but they're here, I mean, it's a regular work week,
Yeah.
so, I mean, if it doesn't interfere, like if she had to. Ride on the truck rather than open, but I'll talk to Megan about the
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
I mean, seems to me that Sunday and Monday would be more important than Tuesday and
Yep.
on those weekends, but
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
surprised.
I'm not suggesting a change
I thought it
now
was gonna
because
be
I think,
closed Tuesday because it was open Monday.
yeah,
But it was a good call for Sunday and Monday because, MLK is,
Yeah.
it's not a generally recognized holiday with some businesses. And so some people have to go back on a Sunday because they have work on Monday.
Right,
It's not like, a full-blown holiday,
Yeah,
whatever you think about that, but it is
so
what it is.
we got Presidents coming up as a 3-day weekend.
well,
Yeah.
that goes into the holiday week, so I think she's made special arrangements
Right.
for that whole week.
What about,
And
the
we-
upcoming? I'm sorry,
World Cup.
World Cup?
World Cup, it's the truck that we're most worried about. We're
Yeah.
not really worried about down here. We're gonna stay, I think, on our same schedule. For the
So it's-
week,
So the Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday,
Sunday,
Sunday.
Tuesday, Thursday, and then the following Sunday, but then we're going into a holiday week. So we did
that's right. I see what
make
you're saying.
sure that
Okay.
we're going to be open at least
Right.
every other day
Right.
during the week
During
for the
Pres-
holiday.
During
That-
President's Week.
Yeah, during President's Week and the week after, because it's mass vacation and
Yeah.
then the New Hampshire.
Yeah.
So if you
So it'd
look
be a busy
online,
Period.
it's on the calendar
Yep.
and she's tried to go every other day.
Oh.
It's going to be the truck, we're gonna be coming in over the weekend to make sure that we're taking care of trash,
Okay,
for, World Cup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Additionally, public safety is extra staffing starting on Wednesday next week. We'll have an additional person every day. So we'll have 4 rather than 3.
Are they concerned with medical runs?
Not medical as
Okay.
much as traffic and
Okay,
just moving people around town.
okay,
Actually, the medical, because of the World Cup, they don't expect as much skiing over the actual
That's
Friday,
true.
No.
I see
Saturday
what you're
when
saying, yeah,
when the
yeah,
competition is going on. I don't know if that's true
Right.
or not. I mean, but
Hmm.
they are coordinating with Tim for what he
Okay.
thinks is gonna happen.
I heard a helicopter this morning. Was there up
Uh,
at the mountain maybe? Sure, unless it was just passing by.
it
I
must
didn't
have
look-
been passing.
I didn't look
by.
out my window, but I wonder if there was,
It did not happen
did
here.
that happen here?
Yeah.
Okay,
So.
all right.
But yeah, I think all of the departments are ready. For the big week, so.
Did the school board talk about the use of the gym for?
They didn't get to
pickleball?
that by the time I left. Brooke was still there,
Yeah.
but it had not come up before I had to leave to make this
I
meeting.
thought Bill Cantlin asked me an interesting question. He plays pickleball apparently all the time, and he said, are we getting any pushback from townspeople about out of towners taking up pickleball time? I thought that was an interesting question.
huh,
Yeah, I think Brooke had mentioned that it's kind of hard because of the way the leagues are set up, right? The way they play, really can't.
I don't think there's any league. I think you just.
Well, the way the teams are, you just show up and you
levels.
sign up at the level, so it's kind of hard to.
I thought that was an interesting question that he asked. So,
Well,
I'm
when
not
I
quite
first,
sure how we would do that, other than,
I
oh,
know.
you're not from Waterville, no, you can't come in.
yeah, that wouldn't be
That
good, would it?
I
That
mean,
would be-
ideally, we end up with some more times from the school board.
Well, we'll just have to have that
Well,
meeting with
and
them
that's what she's requesting is that 1 through 3,
and let's discuss
3
it.
days a week.
3 days.
When I walked in at about 3:45, the lobby there was packed with pickleballers waiting
Mhm.
to play. It didn't open up till 4 o'clock.
Yep.
And it was, I mean, literally, it was full of people that you could, waiting.
Well,
Wielding those rackets.
And there's
Yeah.
a lot of talk on the app. So I will try to download that and provide it to you.
Yeah.
A lot of comments being made.
I thought about it, but I decided not to say, hey, you guys, you gotta go in here and do one of those like direct action protests.
Yeah.
While the school board is meeting,
Yeah,
pickleball afternoons, pickleball.
oh, jeez,
Set my mouth shut.
Mike would have loved you.
No, but I mean, it is a dilemma. I mean, they have. Legitimate concerns from their perspective, so hopefully we'll be able to find a solution.
Hmm.
Yeah.
that'll satisfy everybody.
Anything else? I can't think of anything. We're getting ready for the meetings next week, Thursday and Friday with Black and Beach. First one just with town staff, second one with the state.
Right.
Should we plan on a majority of the board here? Because I have to post.
We'd have to
it if
notice
you're
it
gonna
if two of us
attend.
show.
Yeah,
On the meeting with Black and Beach?
yeah. So both of the days start at 9 AM. And I would anticipate that the Thursday one would be the longer day. Probably the Friday one, a couple of hours, so 9 to 11, 9 to noon.
It's Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday, so the town staff one is gonna be a lot of technical information and, you know, more brainstorming from that standpoint, making sure that what Black and Beach is looking at meets what Rich and Dylan are looking for out of the plant, and going over the more technical aspects of it. The second day is more of an introduction with the state, making sure that Black and Beach hears what state wastewater bureau is going to be looking for in the process. Talking about the funding a little bit, introducing him to all the major people that handle the paperwork. You know, you're welcome to listen, but
I'll be out of the formula because the World Cup busyness.
Mm,
Won't be able to
Yeah,
do it at
I
that
hadn't
time.
planned to be here, but
okay. You'll be whatever happens tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yep,
Yeah.
10:45.
Tomorrow's his surgery,
oh,
knee surgery,
Yeah, well,
Wow.
the meniscus, something,
meniscus.
something,
Yeah,
repair or cleanup,
in
so,
Concord.
yeah, Concord Orthopedics, so.
Mm.
All right, well,
The dam.
the dam, they worked on it today.
oh, they did, oh,
I
wonderful.
was up in Franconia at a meeting, so I don't know, they were working on it when I left
Yeah.
at 1.
I looked when I walked
Um,
by and it's nice, fresh.
I saw
pipes
a
and
picture
tile.
on Facebook of
Yeah.
somebody
great
taking.
Picture.
Good.
Yeah.
So
The water should start
it is back, yes,
filling up
water
again.
should start filling back in. Tree is gone, so, and the new bubbler will be installed. We did get paperwork back from FEMA by email today for us to check. It was about 3:30 when I got the email, so we'll be looking that over tomorrow. Making sure.
But still no declaration.
No
from-
declaration. I
Feds.
talked to,
State.
during the North Country Council meeting, one of the other members of the executive board, is the town planner, or former town planner in Gorham. And they have well over $1 million in damage,
Wow.
so they're waiting as well.
It's a lot of damage. What
Yeah.
happened
Oh,
up
they were
there?
destroyed.
Really?
There was water running right down the main street.
Oh, wow, I hadn't.
Yeah,
guess I
they have
missed it.
houses, they have 3 or 4 families that were totally displaced.
That stream right behind there runs pretty good.
Yep,
Mm.
he said he's been there over 20 years and it's the worst flooding, or even more, 30.
Even worse than Irene?
Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
he said it was worse than Irene
Wow.
from their perspective.
Could be the new normal. All right, anything else, department heads?
Nope. Nope, can't think of anything right now.
Fingers crossed on the trash truck.
Trash truck is fine. They've driven it around town, taken it to Bethlehem. The repairs have worked. So. The crew was awesome. They had the new radiator in within a day,
Wow.
day and a half of getting it. So that was all internal to us, no outside maintenance at all. So.
Has Megan had time to look at that potential annual lease of a trash truck? She'd mentioned.
She
last
is
time.
working on it. She and
Okay.
I've looked it over.
Okay.
She is doing some calculations, she'll have some feedback on it.
Okay, great.
All right. Moving on then, calendar review.
Calendar review, next Wednesday is our first budget information presentation. And then you have your regular meeting on the 1st of February. The planning board is holding a public hearing on
Mhm.
January 31st at 6 PM in this room. That is a zoning ordinance to fix the reference to building code
That's in the zoning.
that's currently in
It
the
should not
zoning
be in
and
the
should
zone-
not
be
be.
in the zone. This should not be
So-
controversial.
Yeah.
No,
It's just a matter of cleaning up since we changed
the building inspection. form.
regulation and form and permit and
Mm-hmm.
the 10,000 versus 1,000. All of that was located, or much of that was located in zoning improperly.
Mhm.
So basically, this is a more of a pro forma, correct, getting that stuff out of there.
Yeah.
So,
It is also, just so you're aware, we're going to have, if this passes and gets forwarded by the
Mhm.
planning board, we will have 10 amendments
Okay.
on the ballot. So it'll be the election of officers,
mhm,
and then there will be 10 questions
all zoning.
from the zoning, or from the planning board for zoning,
Mhm.
okay? I just, people
Wow.
might get a little but because you got.
I didn't realize we had
You got
approved that
amendment
many.
1 through 10.
Yeah, I'd forgotten how many we had approved.
Now, the only issue is you're gonna see an amendment number 11. And there will be no amendment number 6.
Oh.
Because the planning board did not, or voted not to forward amendment number 6. So rather than renumber them
Yeah, yeah.
and have confusion that way, because there were many people that spoke out against amendment number 6. The planning board decided to leave off number 6.
Which was number 6?
It was the setbacks in the.
Oh,
Changing the
village.
Really?
setbacks
Yes.
and HDR and VC through
Well, they
2035.
They didn't do away with it, they postponed it, they were very clear, they're gonna continue to talk about it. But they decided not to forward it.
Okay.
Okay, so just so you can help people and explain to them why there's 5, 7, and then there's 11 amendments, but only 10 questions.
Tense.
That's what happened.
Will there be an article like in the Wigwag or something that anyone?
I don't think we should
I don't
probably
think-
raise that at the meeting next week.
Just to help clarify.
Just to get something in there and
Yep.
at least. We
And
should,
that would
should be
be at the
time,
beginning of March, that would be good,
That
because
would-
that would give 10 days.
Right.
And be perfect timing.
Yeah.
yeah, get it in the February wigwag and
No,
So-
get it in February for the March.
for the
Right,
month, sorry,
for the
right,
month.
for the March wigwag. So, yeah, I would get one of the board members to work on that.
Is the budget meeting in this room?
The budget info
Yeah.
meeting, yes.
Yeah, I
Uh,
didn't mean to.
I think Morgan had talked about doing something
She had written the one that was in
in January.
the January one. She and I forget who else co-authored that with her. And Tara assisted on it, just to make sure everything was okay, but yeah, we can see if someone. I'll bring it up at the planning board hearing, because we can vote right after that public hearing. We can vote on that amendment and then. What
Yeah.
kind of information process we want to go through to help people
Mhm.
understand. All right, and our next regular select board meeting at 3 o'clock on February 1st. And that's the one where we'll do the second info meeting.
Yep.
Afterward at 6
Yes,
PM.
at 6 PM.
Okay. So on those, if 2 or more of us show up, you'll have to,
I have to post.
you have to post
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean, I'm planning to, but you guys think about it. Anytime 2 of us get together to talk town business, it has to be posted. So,
Yeah, I mean, I had figured I would, but
Yeah, it's no big deal. I mean, we just sit here.
Yeah.
Just like we did with the wastewater treatment facility, we just kind of sat here.
Do you want to be here?
thought I'd
We'll
come.
post it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, why don't you go ahead and,
I'll post the 24th.
for sure, and then let's see how we feel.
So my
yeah.
plan on Wednesday is to review the
Mhm.
two-page budget summary and talk about department operations and the impact of personnel on each one of those department amounts.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then save the capital items and the two bond issues for the 1st of February. So
All right. Should take care of calendar review, yeah. Okay, new business, the bond sale paperwork. So I guess we
Yep.
gotta sign on 4 different,
you each have
Places.
your own color.
Well,
So
thank
Rich is-
goodness.
Rich is purple and Bob is green and Wendy is yellow.
oh,
So there are 4 copies of the paperwork and is this your first one signing?
It is.
So I gave you a little explanation in the memo.
Mhm.
This is it does have a face value of $688,200.
Right.
But that's because of the premium that is
Mhm.
paid up front by the purchaser.
Why is it done that
81,000
way?
There's financial reasons, investment reasons to do it that way.
Okay,
Because you'll see that the interest rate on the payments
yeah,
is
It's higher
higher than
than
the
the
3.09.
right.
right.
But if you total up, we'll make principal payments of $688,200.
Right, at the 5, whatever.
And then at the 5 and
Mostly.
the 4% interest numbers.
Is that right, that it
And-
drops from 5 to 4? I saw that.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay,
And if you total up all of those interest payments at those higher amounts,
Right,
Yeah,
what is actually paid in interest, it makes up the rest of the 750,000 principal amount. And then interest as if it were charged at 3.09%. But it allows this person to buy the bond and then sell it to somebody else, or,
but we
Whatever they do.
get 750.
but we get 750 deposited in the bank.
right. But, and we pay on
And we pay
688.
back 700, well, we
50.
pay back 750 with interest of 3.09%.
3.09, right, or 688 at interest of 5.1.
Yes.
All the way down.
Yeah.
So actually, we need a motion to approve signing.
Yeah, approve the bond documents as presented and the representations you're representing that we're gonna use it for public purposes, that it's not gonna be illegally invested. Believe me, we don't, because I can go to jail, not you guys, so we won't do that.
So,
But yeah, all of that stuff that
Right.
is in here, so there's also, that we're gonna use it within the 3-year period. At least have it under contract. The arbitrage. And the tax certificate, you're confirming that the 8038G IRS form is filled out correctly, which
right. So
town
that-
council, town bond council filled it out for us, so it is.
is that gonna all be in the motion?
Well, no, I mean, but that's what you can just say, like, in the motion, you can say that you're approving the paperwork as.
As presented, the paperwork for the bond for public purposes.
First road main.
For road
repair and-
repair and
Yep.
road maintenance.
Mhm.
Of $750,000
Yep.
Second,
to be used within 3 years.
Second.
All in
by
favor?
Bob.
Aye.
maybe yellow next time.
What, I will make sure that Judy does it that way next time.
That's there.
The next thing is very easy. It's that form. Every year we have to certify who the representative is for our floodplain management program.
Mm.
I don't know how Rich ended up on
Yeah,
this
I don't
last year.
remember.
It's been
But
me for a
somehow-
long time, but.
It makes more sense for the town manager to be the POC.
You did a good job at it though.
Yeah, well, you know, I try to do good at anything I do, but especially the ones I don't remember doing anything on. Those are the best ones, right? How many of these we gotta sign? Finish this, and I guess we gotta make a motion to appoint Mark Dakota Town Manager as the,
Floodplain.
Community point of contact for the floodplain management program.
okay, as stated, do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Yeah.
congratulations. I'll send you over all my file
There. Thank you.
and any advice I can think of.
Any advice?
Yeah,
Wow, and you're not even under sedation.
not yet.
So you got board concerns?
Let's see, well, we
Oh,
do
no.
the, no, we gotta do the, old business. So the wastewater project update, I think we just can, you guys
It's
are
the
gonna
2
have
days.
the,
Yep.
the meetings
Yep.
with BMV and town
Oh,
staff, and
one
then
other
with the state
thing.
the next day.
We have special counsel for the project. We went out and did a mini request for proposal among law firms that do environmental law here in New Hampshire. We've selected Rath Young Pignatelli.
For which this, for what?
For the wastewater treatment plant project.
Okay.
They have counsel in-house that specializes in treatment plant projects. And they have worked with several other towns. We called and spoke to finance directors, town administrators, that have used them. This came about because there is a state template for the contract, and Black and Veatch requested several amendments and changes to wording.
Mm.
So rather than go to regular town council to the Mitchell Group,
Yeah.
we wanted to, given the size of the contract, I mean, this contract alone is 1.3 million. We wanted to make sure that any changes that we make to that state template, that we maintain the clean water SRF eligibility and everything else.
So these guys
And-
are the experts in.
These guys are the
On this.
experts and they know all the DES contacts at wastewater. They're familiar with the state revolving fund process and requirements. So. And they will be able to work with Black and Veatch. To get them to. Change some of their requested amendments if we need to.
Okay.
So they are, and again, this is all under the administration of the grant, so, or the project, so it's all grant eligible. So,
Oh, good.
we just looked around. And we got extremely competitive rates, or a couple of rates in there that were actually lower than town council, so,
Oh,
per hour, so.
Huh.
And what we did was, there's no retainer. And no contract price, it's purely by the hour. So whenever we need them, they'll be available. They already said that they will come up, they wanna walk around the site. They wanna meet town staff and they wanna go over the project with us at no cost to
Great.
do the orientation. So.
So the first step is to review the contract.
Yeah, they're already working on the contract, because we have to have that finalized by next Wednesday,
Oh.
so they're working on that. Yep. They also, another added benefit, we found out that the same two people have worked with Solid Waste Bureau on transfer station issues.
Oh.
So
Good,
they will be able to
yeah.
help us with the AOC and, so,
I think Rath was Attorney General, wasn't he?
yes.
Okay. That brings us to the land donation.
Yeah, we're still
Issue.
waiting for Monadnock.
Monadnock hasn't given
They have
finished
not,
report. All
They
right,
have not given us anything yet.
all right, we'll continue to
So
wait
we'll
then.
continue to wait. I did reach out, copied you.
Oh, no, you didn't copy me,
I
but
didn't copy you. Who did I
Oh.
copy? I must have copied just.
this is,
Rich. I will send you a copy. I.
Oh,
reached
to
out
David, to David,
Oh,
you haven't heard from him?
I have not heard back from him.
Okay.
So we did, town council, Mitchell Group is handling the review of the legal side of that
Mhm.
and preparation of documents.
Were we to move forward?
Were we to move forward. They did have a question from the title company. Title company wanted to call David, but I'm waiting until I hear back from David to have them do that.
what did they wanna call him about?
I did not get a specific what was the
Okay.
question. I did ask Joe Driscoll and I don't have that back yet.
Okay. Board concerns and directives? Anybody got anything? I had one thing, I was wondering at some point, it been bouncing around in my head for some time. Do we want to name this downstairs meeting room for anybody? Instead of just calling it downstairs meeting room? Just a thought I throw out.
We could get a donor to give us money to upgrade the audio visual and.
There's always that possibility. Anyway, I just throw that out, see if it
Mhm.
might be a worthwhile thing. So it'll be shorter than say, downstairs meeting room, just we'll meet in the blank room,
Mhm.
the Smith room, the Jones room, whatever, just
Larson room.
the lot. The Larson
Larson.
room. Yeah, no?
I'm-
We're thinking of different Larsons, maybe.
Oh, jeez.
Bill Larson.
Bill Larson.
Bill Larson, we were all
Yes.
thinking of Bill, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But certainly, I just throw that out there at some point,
Okay, no,
think,
that's,
something to think about.
What about the discussion about the town report
yeah,
dedication?
I've not had any other thoughts on that since our last conversation.
I didn't have any, I thought the last suggestion was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, me
fine, I think we're all fine with
You
that,
okay with that?
yeah.
Alright.
Did we get any in memoriam this year?
Yeah, Sharon's working that. There were
Okay.
several.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess I gotta get that report, I gotta draft it, show it to you guys, work with you and get
Yeah.
it to Sharon by sometime, I think it's 22nd, I'm running out of time,
TikTok?
So when's your operation? Next
tomorrow
Tomorrow.
morning, yeah. It's the best time to write, cause you
There
don't
you go.
care.
You gotta be there early.
Not too early, 10:45
So
down in Concord, I was a bit surprised, it's always like, like 7 o'clock, so, yeah.
Yeah, but that could go to 7 PM. If
Yeah,
you're not
that's the-
first in the gate, you
that's
could
the-
end up in a
that's-
hallway somewhere.
That's the other thing, so,
And in one of my operations, I ended up in intensive care. I was supposed to be on my way home.
yeah, I'm not looking for that. Yeah, well,
Well, as long as you don't get lost on the west wing, third
Right.
floor hallway.
I mean,
Where did we put
What-
Richard Rita?
what could go wrong? It's a simple.
No, it's
meniscus
nothing about
repair.
the operation.
It's just where do we put
they
him?
Park you.
Yeah,
on
and I won't know
Montgomery.
because I won't
You
be
won't know.
there.
Yeah.
I'm sure we did a Richard Rita today.
Somewhere.
Where did we put it?
Well, they got everybody tagged now, right?
That's right. Does that include GPS locators?
Probably nowadays, it's coming.
That's fun.
Okay, if no other board concerns and directives, correspondence.
Yep.
So we have-
You have two email.
Okay,
Two email
Yep.
threads to talk about.
yep,
So you got Josh McAllister's, the easy one, I guess.
So to
Um,
speak, yeah, I mean, it's
he reiterated.
more of the same,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. It just doesn't seem to be doable for us in the end.
And
No,
we were
just-
supposed to talk today about what you want to do going forward,
Yeah,
just so I can reply to Mr. Jameson.
yeah, it seems like we
Well,
have to
then-
pass, right?
That's what I got out of it,
What'd you say?
Seems like we have to pass on the TAP grant.
going through TAP process. And now another 2 years and all this stuff at a minimum, I mean, it's,
And all they pay for is
The path.
the new,
multi-purpose
The
path,
multi-purpose.
but which we have to have designated bike paths as well as pedestrian paths.
Just look different,
And I don't think,
not
yeah, so,
cohesive.
I was walking by the tennis courts and yesterday and there's a bunch of, decent trees right there
Mhm.
that if you did that a separated 10-foot path,
mhm.
Yeah,
and then you switched over and went over by the tennis courts, those trees would be gone.
yeah, that'd be a
Mhm.
shame.
Other than that, it's probably doable, but
I think we have to go over to the other side though, right? From Snow's Mountain up because the right of way on the other side is probably,
Well, I
probably
don't,
eat into a lot of, well, we could move, we could, yeah,
you move everything
thing over, but still, you
the
would still
thing
lose
is,
the.
you're talking about now in potentially putting the multi-use path in front of those residences
Right,
Yeah,
instead of having the, side,
it
you know.
makes more
across
sense
the
across
street.
from, it makes more sense by the tennis courts,
Mhm.
yeah, to have that. All right,
so we're gonna pass. Is that-
Yeah, I can inform him that we're gonna pass on it.
that's what I would vote for.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess that seems to be the consensus.
Okay.
Just move
Yeah, I
on.
think it's mostly from staff standpoint, it's the differences between the two
yeah,
arrangements that would be very confusing. to people.
Yeah, I think that's,
yeah,
Big.
well, and it's certainly a kind of a learning experience, I suppose. Had we ever been accepted for a TAP grant before as a town?
That was the first.
So now we know
kind of accepted.
what, right, but now we know better what the process is, if there's
Yeah.
ever a next time that we would hold back on spending anything,
Right,
which,
okay.
you know,
Doesn't make a lot of sense too. So that really puts Boulder Path back on the agenda in a different way then. As
Yeah,
part of
so
the,
I would like to, I would like to get Josh to do a contract with us for the design work.
Mhm.
And preparation of, I don't know that we'll have to do a complete engineered set of plans. But it's not really a bid. I would like to, give them to Piper, for a potential contract amendment,
So this should be 2025.
2025. So most of the engineering, the engineering will take most of
This year.
24.
Mhm.
We can do amendment number 1 with Piper would be to do the 4 small roads. Right?
Which is what we've
in
agreed with,
24,
Right.
right,
right.
we've agreed to
And then
that.
do amendment number 2 to be,
Boulder
Boulder
Path
Path
and for 25.
for 25.
I think that makes sense, except that the only concern is, are we getting the best price by not bidding it?
Mhm.
yeah, I'd wonder that too.
And I don't know how we address that, but it's certainly easier to do the amendments than the.
Well, the ease, I mean, we can put it out to bid if you want, but, I'll go back and look at the exact numbers, but Piper was significantly lower.
They were the
than-
lowest bidder, as I
They were the
recall,
low bidder on.
and
the
even
last-
that, their low bid was
project.
still above what we were,
Correct.
that we had been authorized by town
I
meeting.
think the last time when we put out Snows Valley Road to Tecumseh and Snows Brook, we had 3 bids that came in and Piper was the low bidder of the 3.
Okay,
By,
so,
by quite a amount,
By a good amount.
Yeah.
And I can get those numbers for you guys, cause you weren't here when we
okay,
did it, you weren't here yet, were you, Bob? When we put out the original bid for.
No, I
Piper?
don't think so.
I don't think you were.
No.
But
No,
they,
it
they
wasn't.
were low by a significant amount.
Mhm.
So I'll give you those numbers. We can make a final decision, but I would like to have Josh draft up a contract for continued engineer work with us.
I saw
Mhm.
Bill's name on here. Do we intend to use Bill again?
Yeah, I really, Bill and Josh work very well together. And Bill saves us a lot of money by, because Josh doesn't have to come here and do on-site work unless we need him to come in to do revisions. So instead of having a resident engineer line item in the engineering contract, I think we spent less than, probably spent about 30% of what we would have spent had HEB engineers had
Sure.
a resident
We
engineer.
pay him by the hour.
We pay him by the hour. And his rate's only $75 an hour. And there's no travel or anything. It's just time here.
Okay.
So, and Josh has been very happy with what Bill has given him back, and
Is Megan okay with that? With
yeah,
that?
she would prefer to do it that way too. It really simplifies.
Cause when we brought him in, we didn't have a Megan, we didn't have
Right.
anybody.
Right.
Right.
Right, but the other thing, previous to Megan, the DPW spent a lot of time at a job site, whether it was the water project, whether it was road repaving projects. And there's a lot of other stuff during the summer that the DPW can do. So we kind of expand Megan's control too. Then she's got one guy to go to, and she can go out and talk to Bill about things she wants to see integrated, and then Bill can make sure it happens.
Hmm.
So, and Bill also works very well with Dylan. So if there's a water and sewer line
Mhm.
issue, Bill also speaks that language, and Dylan and he work very well together. The water project
So on the,
worked out
on the,
well.
on the Boulder Path contract,
Mhm.
we're gonna look at, sewer and water both coming down that.
We need to get Kathy Conway here from Horizons and probably sit down with her and Josh.
Is it
and
water
talk.
that goes up the middle of the eighth fairway of sewer,
It's on both sides, water.
water?
Water is on both sides. There's no sewer there at all. The sewer is in Boulder Path Road and Valley Road. So
Okay.
there's no, and then it comes down, Lost Pass. There's no sewer, between Stone Tower Lane and, oh no, sorry, Tea House Lane and Snowsbrook Road.
So Craig has sewer in the maintenance building, he told me.
It goes directly out to Snowsbrook Road.
Oh, it does, okay.
Yeah. It's not in Boulder Path at all. And then we've got an 8-inch line, I believe it's the 8-inch line on the tri-pyramid side.
Mhm.
And then a 12-inch line on the golf clubhouse fairway. And Dylan wants to talk about redundancy with that. So here's the
Mhm.
12-inch line. It is showing in the road, but it's actually in the fairway. It's not under the road surface until you get to these connections here at Snows Mountain. Oh, this is water.
Right.
Right.
And then here's the 8-inch line.
So for redundancy, is it talking about not digging the
Well,
8-inch line
this-
up, but just
Yeah,
not
this-
using it unless you had to switch?
That's correct. So we can put we can put the pipe in, we can put an 8-inch pipe in here. but not connected to anything. It would be a backup. And that way, if either one of these fails, we can utilize that line without digging anything up. But, he does want the two lines, wherever they're located, he wants two lines coming this way, because this one feeds the fire suppression for the Black Bear. And then this one provides the whole east side of Valley Road with their water.
Hmm.
So we can't take both of those and combine them into one, because we'd actually be going backwards in our capability.
So then what would the redundancy be for?
The redundancy would be if we had a major failure in either one of these lines,
Along
Then we
just
could-
specifically that area?
just specifically in this
Areas,
area.
okay.
But if you have a small leak or something, I mean, digging in this area of the golf course isn't gonna be that impactful.
Right.
And again, we've had problems with this shut off, and we've dug just in this general area.
Mhm.
Wouldn't Craig be happier if the line across the 8th fairway was the redundant one? And the one along the road was active?
And we can do that, but we would have to make a connection back in this area. Because it's this piece of it that Dylan is most concerned with. Because of the fire suppression.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm just thinking if, if the one across the 8th fairways, the redundant line. Then Craig's not gonna be worrying about it leaking and us having to dig it up, because we're only gonna use it if we really have to.
Well, this would be the line that I would be most worried about impacting the golf course. Like this one, I think we can take care of most of it without any problem. I think if we put a line here, we can keep it redundant. It's gonna be connected at the same places here. My only thing with it is, how do you get it to here? Right, we just repave this area.
Hmm.
So, but if he, if he lets us potentially come across the maintenance garage area or something like that to get back to here, we can still use this until it fails, but not plan on digging this up at all. So, I mean, but I would have Josh plan only for a water line in there now. I don't, and we'll have to decide whether we're gonna go north or south with the sewer line. The problem with the sewer line is you can't just throw that in the ground and connect to it later. It's gotta be put in at the proper pitch and everything else, so you've gotta have a design that goes basically from the top of Snow's Mountain Road all the way whichever direction we go. Right?
Well. So why can't you calculate the pitch now? I mean, it seems to me if we're gonna be digging up, we ought to be putting the sewer line in too.
Well, we can, but the design, it isn't as easy as the water line. Because it would be gravity, so you would have to know exactly where you are right here. So there is currently nothing, see, there's no green at all. But we would have to design it all the way from here to here for Snow's Mountain piece. And then decide, are we gonna come up and try to connect into this manhole to the north? Or are we gonna come down and try to connect into this line? This line dead ends. There's nothing up here.
It seems like north is a much shorter distance. Why wouldn't?
It
that
all
be an
depends,
automatic?
it all depends on elevations.
Oh.
Cause of, you gotta have the correct pitch.
Okay.
And we do, it's a very small force main that goes along Tea House Lane, but it's not big enough to take all of this.
Right.
And then the whole thing with this part of the conversation that we're gonna have to have is, are you gonna mandate hookups? You know, if you don't mandate hookups, what is your estimate for people connecting to the line? Are people gonna connect right away? Are they gonna wait until? I know there's 2 or 3 people that have just had new systems in place. You know, is that gonna take 15, 20 years or more for them to hook up?
Right.
And then if they don't hook up, is there gonna be any charge for having the line there? Or are we gonna wait until they hook up before we're charging them? And that all comes into the revenue increase that
Mhm.
we.
So we got 2 engineering projects that we're gonna have going on. One is an engineering project on
Snow's
Snow's Mountain
Mountain.
Road,
Mhm.
which is potentially for sewer and water.
Right,
And then another engineering project for the Boulder Path rebuild.
I can ask HEB if they have any sewer and water capability.
It seems like we got the makings of putting the whole thing together without coming back later on and doing the.
Right. Do you want me to ask Josh about that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Okay. So that leaves one other piece of correspondence, I believe,
Mhm.
from Craig Larson at the golf club. And I guess he had 2 issues. One was he does not believe as a taxpayer, you should have to pay for the planning board's contract land planning consultant to review his site plan reviews, since he already pays taxes, and that should be included in taxes. I think that was one issue he had. And that may be the major issue, I think,
But,
overall.
but, our consultant isn't paid unless if she's doing hourly work. Like the amount in the budget is for her to assist the planning board. As you know.
As
needed,
for
and-
usually zoning or
the-
master plan sorts
The
of things,
13,000 he referred to was 1 year when she was helping rewrite the master plan.
right,
And that was the only year that the planning board exceeded what was typically a $10,000 budget.
right, and even then, he didn't,
Like, what was it this year, 3,600?
Yeah,
that
it
The
was-
planning board used.
It was
for?
3665.
right,
So it's always been, anyone coming in, any developer coming in to do a site plan has worked with her and paid her.
Correct.
Like, the taxpayers don't pay for that aspect of it.
it's more of a user fee
Exactly.
in that sense, right?
Yeah. So. He isn't already paying for that in taxes, I guess is the point.
So as I understood it, he wanted her to go over and he wanted to go sort of give her a dog and pony show about. How important.
Right, which is the other
golf
part of
is
it,
to the
right,
community and what a good citizen he is and. And
And they've agreed that that's not going to happen because she gave him the cost of that and he said no.
right, I was like, whatever,
Well, and it is sort of a moot
It
point.
doesn't
I
really-
mean,
yeah.
she would do the work whether she believed it was a good idea, and like.
yeah, her
She's
work,
not meant to be bought into the community. She's
so
meant to do
then
work.
the next issue is the other thing, when he brings it before the planning board, if she's not gonna go meet with him ahead of time.
Right.
Then when he goes before the planning board. Does he have to pay anything to her then?
He would pay
Well-
whatever her review
right,
of the plan.
she reviews the
costs.
plan before it
She
comes to the
reviews
planning board.
plan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just to make sure there aren't documents missing, or, you
Right.
know, you get the little stamps or the
the
stupid things that get
application
missed.
is complete.
Right.
Yeah.
That it meets all of our submission requirements.
So is that something that typically the developer pays?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
So he's not being treated any different than any other?
no,
No.
no,
no, not at all.
no,
And
I
how
think
long,
it's-
and
oh, go ahead.
how much of a project is that for her? What are we talking about?
depends on his proposal, really.
And honestly, it
Mm.
depends on how organized he is with
right.
getting the stuff to her.
Mhm.
You know, if he's right on top of everything and gets it in. And I could easily see it taking less than an hour if everything is right there. But if she has to chase for different things, or there's, you know,
There's gonna be additional costs.
yeah,
So, but it's not, we're not talking thousands.
it shouldn't
No.
be. No,
I think Green Peak may have been 2,000 or 3,000 for all of that.
So does he have somebody doing his drawings with him?
I don't know. He hasn't submitted anything yet.
I thought he had referred, I was listening to the planning board meeting, I
Mhm.
thought he'd referred to an engineer that he was working with,
Yes, he did,
so,
but I don't think he submitted anything
no, right,
to anybody yet, but that's usually the process. Where the developer simply submits it to the consultant reviews it, and goes back and forth with the developer. So the developer has everything complete, so when it comes in front of the planning board, it's not really an issue of completeness.
right,
And she also, obviously advises on whether or not what is being requested fits within zoning, whatever the zoning may be. So it's pretty much a pro forma that we've done with all developers.
I mean, is this unusual in this town that? I don't know, I'm not too familiar with what the planning board does, but is she stepping in the place of what the planning board would normally do themselves in
Well,
another town?
she, well, because she's actually making the process smooth, because the planning board couldn't communicate with Craig ahead of time, like one or two individuals, so that'd be ex parte communication. So she's stepping in, and correct me if
Right.
I'm wrong on this, Mark, but that's why her work is so invaluable, because it's
Well,
saves everyone a lot of
What used to
time.
happen is the developer would come in, because it has to be in front of the board,
As an entirety.
and it was primarily Bill Cantlin in those days, right?
Yeah,
He would present a plan, and then the planning board would look at it and go, well, we don't think, we think you're missing this, and this. So he'd come back the second month,
yeah,
and then, and no conversation could happen once he had submitted the plan. Right?
yeah,
I mean,
no, that's the thing, you can't
you can't
communicate between
communicate
meetings.
outside of
yeah.
a meeting,
Hmm.
once a plan's submitted. So what Tara has been able to do is work with the developer beforehand and say, hey, this is required in our application process. Or, the planning board has been really worried about parking lately.
Yeah.
So, maybe, you wanna stress the parking issues on this site, or whatever it is. She kind of talks them through that.
Exactly,
So would he have the option if he said, I don't want to use Tara, I'm gonna use. Joe Quinn or
Well, he
somebody,
has his own engineer.
so he could
Just come in.
bypass her and just come in and say, here's my plans.
No, because the planning board now will take whatever he submits. Yes, before he submits anything,
Mhm.
Yeah.
he can do it with whomever he wants.
Yeah,
He submits the application, she's gonna review it.
For the
She
planning
can
board.
talk, she can talk to his engineer, or she can talk to him. However, he wants to do that.
but you're
okay.
saying if he doesn't want to have Tara review it at all and just,
That's not his call, that's the planning board's call.
Okay,
But right, but it's just, it makes more sense to do it with Tara at the very beginning. Because she's gonna pass on her views to the planning board
Right,
anyway, because the planning board's gonna,
I think, I'm not, I haven't talked to him about this at
No, no,
all,
yeah.
so. But what I get the sense is that he feels like she's sort of taken the place of the planning board and is their mouthpiece. And they've abdicated what they should be doing to her. And I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but is she wielding more power than she should? Or instead of the planning board, is she making decisions?
No, I would say she goes out of her way to not do that, you know, she.
I mean,
won't-
as I said, I'm not close to it, so I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. No, like working with, she's been really great to work with because during a meeting, you know, she'll only intercede if we're going down the wrong path and doing something that could get us in legal jeopardy. And of course, we want her to stop us from doing that,
Yeah,
you know, so. No, she typically just speaks up when she's asked to.
okay,
And is
It's,
very clear about that.
as I recall the conversation a number of years ago now, right, 5 or 6 years ago, I mean, the feeling at the planning board was that nobody there was really an expert, so we'd get these
Exactly.
plans in front of us. And we weren't quite sure if everything that was there, that needed to be there was there and everything was proper. So it decided at that time by the planning board at that time, we want to hire a consultant to review the plans for us. And it's not unusual in towns for a developer to pay for the consultant to review their plans. That's how it was presented to us.
Mhm.
So Craig certainly doesn't have to go through Tara to pull everything together. He can
No.
come in front of this, he can come in front of the planning board. But the planning board will turn it over to its professional consultant to review the plans as they relate to the zoning. Simply because nobody on the planning board is,
Same
an expert.
process that the town of Thornton's following. They have they have a consultant.
because we don't have a
And
planning
whenever-
department.
That's right. There's
Exactly.
no planner.
It's someone you give,
On
right, that's
staff.
on staff that
Right.
would look at it.
And it's the same way
Yeah.
in Thornton.
Yeah, and
They get in a plan, Nancy goes down, she's the chair, she looks at it and she turns it over to Keach.
Right.
Nordstrom and they review it just like what Tara's doing.
yeah, and I think Tara works for 9 other communities
In
in
the
New
same way.
Hampshire.
In the
and
same way, so
fills
it's a
that
standard
void
procedure.
where,
Yeah.
yeah, where, you know, as a volunteer board, gosh,
Yeah.
with all the mechanics involved, it's really easy to overlook something.
And it's important, I think it's becoming very obvious that with all this new development coming our way, that we have to have the planning board has to have a professional consultant available to pass judgment on the plans in front of it. So that's the process.
So if she went away, we'd find somebody else like her.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we'd
Oh,
have to, I
absolutely.
think.
Yeah, it's a 1-year contract, and I think that discussion was held again this year. Do we want to continue with Tara? We satisfied with her work, and if not, do we want to go find someone else? And I think the planning board decided we'd like to stay with Tara. Has she signed the contract yet? I think she signed,
Yes.
the contract was worked out and she signed it. And we're not talking a lot of money either. I mean,
No.
we were.
So it's an hourly rate, there's no retainer.
Right.
It's only the work you ask her
her
to do, so.
Right,
In addition to the plans review, she also helps the board draft up the amendments that they talk about doing for
Yeah.
the zoning ordinance.
we've been cleaning up a lot of zoning,
She helped with the master plan review
which is
and,
required by state
which
law.
is required, so
Mhm.
there are some things outside of the plans review that she's worked with the board on.
Yeah,
so.
it's actually the majority of her work, isn't it? I mean, it
It has
is
been, yeah.
on zoning, trying to keep up with the latest changes in
Yeah, I
zoning.
think she's done the Golden Heights development.
Yeah.
And the Green Peak development have been the two
Major,
major ones
that have
that
come
she
her
has-
way during her tenure.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think the biggest point for Craig to understand is that his tax dollars have not been paying for her to do site plan reviews. That's only in her purview when one comes up, and then it's that developer that's responsible for those fees.
Unless the planning board specifically asks her to do something outside of the review.
True.
So if you want her to do something.
that's at our
special,
request,
But
right.
that's at your.
And
at
so
the
we would
planning
bear
board's
the
request.
cost.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that would go back to the tax dollars.
So where does this stand?
So we have $10,000, you know, his thing was, my tax dollars are already being spent on the developer. We have $10,000 in there. We have used
As the planning board's budget,
as the planning board's planning budget,
which includes her,
which includes all of her time.
all of the time, and
outside of the
anything else we need,
development.
the planning board needs to
Yep.
spend the money on.
So we've spent, not counting the 2 years that we worked on the master plan
Yeah.
of 21 and 22, where we spent 11,000 each of those
Oops.
years.
Yeah, I remember you came in front of the board and asked for more money.
Yes, she did.
Yes. yes,
Please,
you did.
sir, may I have some more?
Yes.
We spent 6,900 in 2020, 8,700 in 19, and 3,600 in 23.
Hmm.
So the $10,000 has been the amount that we've been carrying.
Yeah.
In general, for that line.
But we've
because
approved,
it's
what the
really-
select board has approved for
that the
that, for
select
that
board
line in the
approved
budget,
to go forward.
for the
in town
planning board to
meeting.
have up to 10,000.
Yeah. So. If you want to make it a different number based on Craig's comments, we can, but. You know, we've spent almost $10,000 in 19 because of
Yeah.
zoning amendments and all of the regular work.
It just seems like a safe amount to, conservative amount. to
And it's
have
not, it's
there.
not only just, it's not only just to pay her whenever we call upon her to do anything.
No, if you got
The
a,
majority.
you may want to
Cost.
have a special
Mhm.
review of, I don't know, drainage on something or whatever.
And we'd
that
hire someone,
money
right,
would be for a consult, because she doesn't do the engineering.
Exactly,
But
right.
that money could go to engineering on something
right.
that's outside of a project.
Right. I mean, the planning board has its annual budget of 10,000, the conservation commission has a budget of
2,000.
2,000, I mean, these are standard, I don't see why, frankly, we should just,
Okay, and that's fine.
we should change, it. I don't know what you guys think.
No,
Yeah.
agree.
I think we should.
Yeah, and if they don't spend it, they don't spend it, it's.
And
not-
it goes to
Exactly.
fund balance.
And it goes to fund balance, but it's
Yeah.
such a small, we're talking about such small numbers.
Yep.
Okay, so, well, you'll be responding to Craig, the letter came in
Yep.
on the town website.
Yep.
Explain to him, maybe he wants to come in and talk about it, I don't,
Sure.
talk to you about it, but,
Okay,
yeah. But I think the important point Bob made is that he doesn't have to use Tara, that was a recommendation.
Right.
That it would go much smoother for him because if we get
Yeah,
everything.
otherwise
clear
you
with-
might have to do multiple meetings. if the-
Exactly.
Right, and these things happen every month and it just gets dragged out, but if he gets it all. Straight with Tara before it even comes to the board, then it goes. Rather
Much
quickly,
smoother.
mhm.
yeah, and it's just a matter of, are there other issues that the board is thinking of? In this particular one, I know that the board talked about what question of noise on, with regard to pickleball courts. And there was also a question of parking and pedestrian safety that will have to be addressed. So those things don't necessarily come within a review by the planning consultant, but she could certainly note those things to him.
Right,
I
and
think
the planning board can ask for
more,
more
yeah,
review by other people.
Yeah.
There are other specialties out there. like
pickleball
parking.
noise.
Well, no,
That's-
like noise engineers, I mean. it's
Oh, yeah,
ridiculous.
it's
They're out there.
endless, yeah.
Somebody should invent a pickleball paddle and ball that don't have that noise.
Well, Dunk or that,
Yeah.
like that ping pong kind of.
Oh, it's way beyond ping pong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's a
It's-
bigger, it's a
it's
bigger
something.
ball.
Yeah. Yeah. no,
okay.
All right,
I'll Figure out,
yeah. Okay, so do we need a non-public?
no, I don't think so.
All right, does anybody have anything else before we adjourn? Nope.
Mm-mm.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second, in favor?
Aye.
We are done.
All right.
You mean we're being recorded? Oh, no.
Means I gotta spend more time at